right, injury updates for you guys. Stephon Gilmore did get a hamstring, left hamstring, did not return. I'm hoping we avoided a longer-term issue there. He was thinking about possibly coming back in, but able to hold on to the win there. Guys making some plays, stepping up. And then Pat Jones did have the right knee, was able to come back in and finish the game. Proud of our guys. Got our 10th win. By December 1st, which I think is an accomplishment. Games are hard to win. I do think that's a really, well-coached playoff caliber football team, and that other locker room want to give the Cardinals a lot of credit. They made it very hard on us. We've got to be a lot better offensively and, see if we can not put ourselves in a hole. But I will say, when we absolutely needed it to put those, to put those drives together, and, find a way to get the points needed to win the game is obviously the intent of everything here. But as we continue to take a close look at what we do, there'll always be room for improvement, but very much looking forward to attacking it with these guys. And I did congratulate them on getting to 10 wins, as we kick off a very important month of December.
What does it say about this team that you guys seem to play your best when the heat really turns on?
Yeah, one of our mottos is being situational masters, and that's expresses itself a lot of different ways. I feel like I know me personally. I feel an obligation as the play caller to be at your best, and that's overcoming a lot of things. I mean, to take some sacks on third down. I want to compliment the scheme and kind of forcing some of those plays, but at the same time, our guys need to communicate better and make sure we get those things blocked up and give ourselves a chance to operate. But with that type of, struggle for much of the game on third down, for us to kind of eliminate that play for the most part altogether and find ways to get explosives. I think we had 9 over kind of the last 3 drives of the game. And we needed every single one of them, and love the fact that even though it wasn't, Aaron's best day to come to him there to punch the ball and take the lead, punch the ball in on that kind of designer kind of play there. Didn't hesitate for a second that he wasn't going to make that play, and we would go up by 1.
I think Sam throws for 100-some yards in the fourth quarter. What can you say about him the second week in a row in a tight game, making that kind of a performance?
Yeah, I think we continue to learn things about our team that will pay a lot of dividends moving forward, and really 2 weeks in a row now. Finding a way, when, really last week momentum was taken from us up 11, and they're able to kind of come back and tie it up, and then we marched the ball down the field. He didn't have an incompletion, 90 yards, and did what we had to do to win that one. And then not one time did anybody on our team flinch, and we did what we had to do to get the win today. But at the same time, we know there's a lot of things throughout a 4-quarter football game that we've got to continue to improve at, and that's what we're going to do.
Looked like there was more of an effort to get the ball to Justin in the second half.
Yeah, there was an effort early too, and we had him, might have had him on a couple plays, and either we climbed up and tried to check the ball down, or even on the Aaron's fumble on his catch was a check down, and the ball gets punched out, but might have had him there. We'll watch the tape and continue to find ways to move them and all the different tools we had, but we definitely tried to find different types of things as we went, trying some things out, doing some things that maybe weren't on the call sheet, and kind of went into that world a little bit, because I do want to compliment them on a really good defensive game plan. I talked about it throughout the week. It's a hard team to run the ball against because of where Buddha is in the scheme, and if they play that personnel grouping, which I knew they would, and we saw it the majority of the day, it can force some real things, both in protection and in the run game. So, credit those guys. They put together a great plan, played well enough to win. We just were able to come back and get them in the end.
What's your thought process with Aaron Jones? He has the 2 early fumbles, but as you said, you never lost faith you were going to put him in at the end. We've seen the way the league goes. We've seen lots of times where guys just, take a seat for the day.
Yeah, and he, he did sit down for, non-scheduled and just kind of really, if anything, I have total trust in Aaron. You guys can see it all over his face, the disappointment he has. But we've got to find a way to fix it, and because we've had too many times that the ball does end up on the ground early on in games, and that's a huge momentum play. given them such a short field. What a response by our defense to, keep them out of the end zone and ultimately push them back far enough that they miss a field goal. But listen, there's a reason why I called the play I did in the end. He's one of our best players. He is going to continue to be one of our best players. And there's not a guy in that locker room that doesn't absolutely love playing with Aaron Jones. And we got his back without any hesitation or question.
You had that series in the third where it's 3 and out, you lose 5, fans are frustrated. What flipped? Because from that point on, I think you scored the next 3 possessions.
Yeah, we got pretty aggressive, with some sequences where you're kind of looking up at it. And even if we were able to hold them to 3, I thought we kind of needed to, do whatever we could to maybe risk reward a little bit more on some plays for some chunks. But they didn't necessarily articulate themselves down the field as much as finding ways to attack the deep part of the field and continue to find space in the intermediate part, which is what I thought our guys did. I mean, Sam found Speedy on a nice hit. We were able to get Jordan kind of on that last drive for a nice hit. And then I thought Justin, was pretty huge as far as we lined him up in the backfield. He starts the drive off with a catch for a positive play, and then just even that 4th down catch, just the detail, being locked in, being able to those guys playing through me, using some tempo to try to see if I could get us into a rhythm throughout the game, which I knew would, possibly tax our defense. They've been on the field a lot. But I thought it was the way we were going to get the lead back eventually was with that, and then we'd find a way to get off the field, which our defense did. Hell of a play by Shaq. Really want to compliment Shaq, Murph. And I gave Jalen Redmond a game ball. He jumped out to me just at various times in the game with his play style and physicality for a young player that keeps getting better and better.
Kevin, what went into the decision to deactivate Ed Ingram today?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. So Cam Robinson did a hell of a job working through that foot, and he was going to give it a go, but we wanted to make sure we felt pretty stressed a little bit in Chicago, only having 1 tackle up for the game beyond Cam, so we wanted to get Rouse up, and then with that needed Dan Feeney because Dan Feeney is one of our backup centers. So really Juergens and Ingram, both those guys, it was just a necessity of the numbers for the day. Wouldn't read anything into it. Ed's been doing a great job, and I would anticipate as we get healthy and can put a full week for Cam together, and I would anticipate Ed being back up. Absolutely nothing to do with anything larger picture or anything than that.
That 4th down conversion late to Justin. Can you just describe what you saw on that?
Yeah. So basically we wanted to have. In a world like that, that's as got to have it as it gets. We needed to have an all-out pressure answer. We needed to have a fire zone answer. And we, anticipating if it is coverage, we're probably getting some variation where they may try to, have some cloud coverage to that side. So if we were able to get the ball to Jordan off that little motion that we've hit a few times now, in some big moments, great. But Justin was, the landmark, the location, where he snapped up, Sam starting his arm. It was a big time, play of execution by both those guys. And then I thought we had, the ball got tipped on a couple plays there that TJ on one, I know, probably finds a way in the end zone on the previous drive. And then, before the 4th down. I thought we had a good chance at Justin, but they, brought another all-out pressure and wanted to get the ball out, and they did a great job batting it down. So, like I said, they made some. That's a team that causes a lot of consternation. And then when we showed up today, kind of overcoming a little bit of maybe a lack of energy, whatever it would be post Thanksgiving. But I do want to compliment our fans at the end of the football game coming to life in a way that felt very, we feel very fortunate to have our group. With us all the way for 60 minutes, and they're overcoming it with us, and they've been a huge part of us finding our way to 10 wins this year so far.
You said you've learned a lot each week about this team.
Yeah.
Did you know Sam had this level of poise?
Yeah. I think I've learned that I can, the dialogue between him and I, through the headset, the ability for him to be detailed and so focused in those moments, and then flat out throw the football at a really high level. There's very few plays you go back and say, "Oh shoot, he just missed that." Fundamentally, kind of coming off of a stretch there where maybe we had some turnover issues. He's really played really good football now pretty consistently, and been a huge driving force behind us winning games, and my confidence level in him is sky high to play the game however we need to play it, which we know we're going to get back to work and keep improving. And Sam has been absolutely huge for us in these moments where everybody needs him.
Kevin, can you talk about Jonathan Greenard and how his performance today kind of encapsulates the impact?
Yeah, I think I think he was dealing with change of seasons or whatever it is. He was pretty congested and kind of feeling head cold, whatever it was. And then to play that many snaps and to give it everything he got, he forces the ball out there earlier in the sequence, and then really took the time out there on fourth down to see if we can get him back in there. Because he was gassed and just left everything out on the field today. JG's been huge for us all season long. You can look at a lot of metrics and stats and all those things. I just know the guy's been an incredibly impactful player on our defense, on our organization, and very, very fortunate to have him here.
Kevin, Justin looks like he had a few where he's able to press the safety vertically and then find space in
Yep.
his zone. How much is he feeling his way through all of this? I mean, I know he's seen a lot of it, but just finding ways to detail his routes to make plays in the.
Yeah, I think it's a great point, Ben. I think he's having to, he's just having to play through it sometimes, and it's very similar to, when a guy's playing basketball, and sometimes there's just not going to be some shots no matter what you do for a guy. But within that, you kind of work through leverages and techniques, and okay, where's the help coming from? Can we attack that with a clean pocket? Can we overcome some of the pressure looks that they bring, and then allow him to go to work? So we tried to get him the ball quicker on some plays. We got him a screen today off of a kind of a receiver screen. I thought he had a huge block for Sam on a scramble and for JA on that kind of low red zone bubble play we ran. We were running the ball and kind of had a run solution on there. So I just think he's incredibly productive considering the circumstances of what he has to do in a 60-minute game. But nobody's going to make any excuses. It's my job to find a way to get him the ball as our best player, and we're going to continue to do that.
McBride today, huge volume.
Yeah.
Talk about defensively what a handful he is to match up with.
Yeah, I told him pregame. He came up to me pregame and said some really nice things to me. And I said, hey, man, I think you're one of the best going right now in the NFL, because he does it so many different ways. I think that's where you saw the volume come into play today, where maybe they want to be ready for some pressure looks and things like that, but at the same time, he's essentially on many of those downs acting as the third wide receiver underneath catch and run. Tons of yards after catch, had a huge conversion there underneath the sticks and able to get that first down. And then when you really study them on tape, they're designing ways to get him the ball, and he's also a really good blocker. So it can really be a tough task as a defense, because you got to basically account for the whole playbook when he's in there based upon his skill set. Really, really special player. I told him that before the game, and then was kind of hoping he would go a little easier on us than he did, which he did not. He was incredibly impactful today. Thanks, guys.